Hi everybody, in this video we're going to take a look at how to do some basic applique. So we have our original example here, which is shown on a So Powerful purse. It's on the front flap. We have a basic heart shape applique applied with a contrasting fabric and stitched down here using a hand-stitched blanket stitch. So we're using this as our inspiration. We're going to create two new flaps and show two different types of applique. Basic applique that's applied right to the top of the fabric, and then reverse applique that peeks out from underneath from the inside. It's a cutout design, creating a reverse applique. So we're going to use the So Powerful crossbody purse as our canvas for this project. So I have some examples here of applique design on the basic front flap, which is just one plain rectangular cut piece, and it's lined on the back side. So we're just going to use that to practice a few different types of applique. Applique is super simple. All you're going to need is a contrasting fabric or some sort of die cut fabric shape, and then a product called heat and bond, and I have that on a roll here. This is a pretty large roll of heat and bond. Here is a cut piece of the heat and bond. It has a paper backing on one side, and then it has a glue residue on the other side that's exposed. So this is the side that we'll start with that sticks to the fabric that's going to create the applique. The paper backing will then peel off, and that will then be used to adhere it to the main fabric of your design. The fusible web is available by a variety of companies and brands. This is the Heat and Bond brand, and this is what the package looks like. It comes in a roll. It also comes in sheets. So let's just take a closer look at the examples we have in front of us. This one right here is a simple heart design. It's a heart shape cut from a piece of fabric. It's placed on this larger piece of fabric, and then it's hand sewn down around the edge with a blanket stitch. Then we have a different example here. This is two cute elephants cut from fabric, placed on the underneath piece of main fabric, and then it's stitched by machine around the edge, and it also is stitched with machine to create some of the dimension in the drawing. So the outline is the cut piece, and then they've used the thread here as well to create the ears and the definition for the legs on the animal. And then on this design, it's just a simple rectangular strip. The edges are folded under, it's placed on top of the main fabric, and then it's just top stitched down. And then it's accented with some other types of embellishment effects to create a really cute, girly look for the front of this purse. And this is the basic design with no embellishment done to the front. So you can see that it's just one plain piece of fabric for that front flap panel. So it's a perfect place to add some applique. One of the great things about applique is that you can do it in any size and in any scale. So if you're not interested in doing this on a purse, you can do this on a variety of different designs. You could add it to jeans or a denim jacket, make small bedding, small pillows, any of that for the doll scale. You can use this same technique for any of those projects. Now let's take a look at two types of applique. We're going to mimic this design of this heart shape that's on the pink purse flap right here. So I've redrawn that on graph paper. I have my heart, and then what I'm going to do is create two different types of applique. I'm going to do the standard applique where the fabric is placed right on top and then stitched around on the front side of the applique, similar to the original example. And then on my other fabric, I'm actually going to do a reverse applique. So I've gone ahead and cut out the heart shape in the opposite way. So I have it missing from the middle, and this paper right here is my heat and bond. So I'm going to use this to create the cutout for the underlay, and then it's going to be exposed from the bottom. I'm going to cut out a shape of the heart on the top to reveal the fabric underneath. So that will be a reverse applique. All right, so let's get started with the first type of applique. I'm simply going to use my heat and bond, my heart shape, my contrasting fabric, and I'm going to cut the heart out and adhere it to the front right side of the fabric of my purse flap front. So I have the heart shape drawn here just in pencil on the paper side of the heat and bond, and then on the back side is that glue residue. So I have my scrap of fabric, and this one has a leather type look. It's a micro suede, so it'll have this leather look for the heart cutout that goes on top of this softer fabric. So I'm going to place my fabric wrong side up. This is the right side, wrong side. I have my heat and bond, the heart's drawn on the paper side. I'm going to place this with the paper side up, the glue side facing the wrong side of the fabric. We'll set that down, and I'm going to press this down according to the instructions on the package to adhere the heat and bond to the fabric. So I have the iron set to medium heat, no steam, and I'm going to place this down for 2 seconds to adhere and then slowly work my way around the design to make sure that it's on everywhere I have the heat and bond. So then I'm just going to look at it and make sure it is stuck down. So I have that. You can see that definitely looks like it has adhered to the fabric. Now I'm going to let this cool so that it's comfortable for me to touch and trim out the design. So here I have my trimmed shape. It still has the paper backing on the back, and now you can see I have a nice heart shape cut out to apply to the front of my purse flap. Now I will mention this is the most frugal way to do this. If you have a machine that will cut fabric like a Brothers Scan and Cut, a Silhouette, or a Cricut, you could apply your heat and bond to the back of your fabric and then use your machine to cut out a variety of shapes and designs, which really opens up the possibilities for what you can do infinitely. So that's just another resource to look into. Okay, so now we're at the next step for this. I'm going to take this, I'm going to peel off the paper backing off the back of this shape. And now when I do that, you can see the glue is on the back of the fabric. So it's really shiny. That is the glue product. I peel the paper all the way off. So now this is ready to place down on the purse fabric. Now for this design, I'm just going to set it off center, a little bit tilted. I do have it in from the edges because I know I have 1/4 inch seam allowances around the edge of my flap, and I will come in and trim the shape of the piece to match the pattern piece just here around the corners. So I'm going to place this up here, and then according to the manufacturer's instructions on this one, I'm going to press this down. Now for the second application to adhere this to the fabric, I do press and hold longer for each section. It's about 8 seconds to make sure that it's adhered to both sides of the fabric. And to protect my design, because this is a micro suede and I can't press directly on top of this, I can use a 100% cotton piece of fabric as a pressing cloth, set it on top, and then that will protect that nicely. So now that I've pulled this away, I can double check and make sure that this is nicely adhered all the way around. So you can see that's stuck very nicely. Now I have a few options for how I can finish this and secure it permanently. It's pretty stuck down on there. I'm not sure that's going to peel off, but we will stitch it down on the machine just to make sure this is never coming off. So I have two options. I could satin stitch around the edge, which is pretty common, or I could do an 1/8 inch in from the edge and do a straight stitch or a decorative stitch that comes in and leaves the raw edge exposed. And that's what I've decided to do for this option. So the main thing that I want to pay attention to is starting and stopping very cleanly and then pivoting nicely at the points. So I wouldn't start or stop at the points. I would start up from the side a little bit and then work my way all the way around the heart design. To finish this off cleanly on the front side, especially because this is a contrasting thread, I'm going to take these two white top threads and I'm going to use a hand sewing needle and pull them through to the bottom side and then tie the knot on the back side so I have a clean stitch on the front side. And then once you have that permanently stitched down, you can go ahead and then just finish the pattern instructions the way they're written. So we would line the flap and then finish making the purse. All right, now let's mix it up a little bit and take a look at how to do reverse applique. So for this one, I have this corduroy fabric cut for my flap. It's a really dark navy on one side, and then on the reverse, it's actually a really bright royal blue. So for the reverse applique, this will look really cool once I have it cut out. You'll see the fraying threads of the lighter color around the cut edge. And then for the part that's going to be revealed underneath, we're just using this cotton print. It's a quilting cotton, 100% cotton print that's going to pop up from the underneath side. Okay, so to do this one, we're going to take the heat and bond, and I'm actually going to apply it to my purse fabric first. I'm going to do the same sort of application, which is a little bit tilted, a little bit off center. So I have the heat and bond. This is paper side up. I'm going to press this down to the wrong side of the purse fabric. And now we have this pressed down, so we'll let this cool for just a minute or two so that we can handle the fabric. Okay, so the fabric has cooled, and again, this is on the wrong side. So now I'm just gonna come in with my scissors and I'm going to trim out the inside of this heart. And I still have the paper backing on. I have not peeled it off yet. Now I'm trimming this one just to the inside of the paper. That'll leave me a little bit of fabric here that I can fray that doesn't have heat and bond on it. Okay, so here we have that removed, and now if I flip that over, you can see I have my heart cut out. This is going to be the fabric underneath that will be revealed once we basically glue both of these together. Now I have a pretty large piece of scrap fabric, so I know it's enough to cover my heat and bond section. So I'm just going to peel off the paper, and then I'm going to set this on top. Double check on the back that all the heat and bond is covered, and then we will press to adhere these two layers together. Now I'll check to make sure that I have it sucked down, so I have a little bit revealed here, and on the top corner I'm just going to come back, make sure that that's secured all the way everywhere that I have the heat and bond. Alright, so here you can see the heart cutout that's revealed from underneath. Now I'm just going to flip this over and I'm going to just trim off any of the excess fabric that's not glued down. Here we have that trimmed off on the back side, and again here is the front side. So then for this one, to secure this down and to create this raw frayed edge, I'm going to take this over to the machine. We're going to carefully top stitch it just to the outside edge, so it'll push out about 1/8 of an inch away from this cut line, straight stitch all the way around, pivoting at both points, and then I'll come back in and carefully pull out some of the threads along this edge to create the interior frayed look. And then once you have it finished, just like the other one, you'll continue with the pattern instructions, attach it to the lining, and then continue assembling your purse design. Now again, both of these techniques can be used on any project you want to do. So you could do either styles of these applique on any of your doll projects as well.